out of touch. Here's Clarence. Even as a baby, he was born to move up, to go high, to rise to the top. Even as a small child, he thinks big. He catches big. Clarence learns amazing skills, even swallows swords. Develops into a confident, powerful young man, daring to leap higher and longer than those around him. He builds a business, and of course, it thrives, and Clarence goes to the bank with a fortune. So he brings in his extended family as workers and staff because he trusts them, and together they work as a thriving team. But as Clarence grows old, this founding father becomes argumentative and aggressive. He doesn't trust anyone. He won't listen to anyone. And he sees only himself. He consults only with himself. Clarence is out of touch with what works in the modern world. He gives orders to everyone else as if he knows what works. But he won't listen to anyone in the field. He thinks he knows everything. Clarence is out of touch with what works today in the new economy. So his instructions are wrong. His business is failing. It was so successful once, and now it's fast becoming a train wreck. No succession plan. Meet Max. This man is a visionary. Max always sees far ahead. He seems to know what's going to happen next. He knows when to buy and when to sell. He plans years in advance. Max is a self-made man who found a business and makes it thrive and brings in his family to work with him. But catastrophe does not ask us if we are ready. It strikes suddenly. Catastrophe even chooses visionaries. Unexpectedly, our hero's car is hit by a truck. Max lives, but no longer is he able to manage his business. His two children, James and Joseph, take over and fight over who is the chief and who makes the decisions. Our visionary Max had always been so successful and so busy. He never trained his own children how to manage. But they did learn how to make trouble for each other. Now the two siblings scrap all day, and of course, the workers never get clear instructions. So much of the time, they're idle. And if things keep going on this track, very soon this wonderful, prosperous business will be a train wreck. Prodigal son. Albert is the founder of this business and has lived a long and productive life. He always has been very disciplined, and he considers every decision carefully. Now he's getting old, and he knows he'll be retiring soon. So wise man that he is, Albert looks at his business and his children, whom he's raised and trained in the business, and prepares his succession. He is so proud that his children have always been motivated and responsible and have put out to keep the family business running no matter what. His daughter Stacy, in particular, seems very industrious and independent. She's the logical choice for leadership of this precious family business. But life has surprises. Who is Daddy's sweetheart? Roland, the youngest son, has always been favored and pampered, always getting what he wants, even though he never worked in the business. Instead, Roland left and spent years pottering around with his friends, drinking. Then, one day, Roland decided to clean up and take a course in business. Now he returns, and he says he should run the business because he studied a few courses in management. Where was Roland all those years that we worked hard in the business? Ask the other siblings. But Father Albert favors Roland and likes that he studied management. Pops, say the other children, you gotta be crazy to let this unstable, irresponsible slacker get control of your lifetime's achievement. Roland will be there for a short time and then he'll be off playing again. He's a bad bet. All the other siblings are up in arms. Pops, if you choose Roland, it's open rebellion. We will never accept him. While Father Albert is pondering his decision, his children are spending most of their time and energy planning how to stop Roland. Now all the principals who used to manage and direct the staff are too busy to run the business. The workers don't know exactly what to do, how to answer customers. So much uncertainty and tension. This business is on track to be a train wreck. Jealousy. Two brothers, Jason and Bart, loved each other and worked together to develop a wonderful medicine that soothes upset stomachs. What a great market. The two brothers opened their wallets and pooled their meager pennies to begin a small business producing and bottling their wonderful serum. In the beginning, there was no profit. Jason and Bart worked selflessly, long hours, shoulder to shoulder, and loved the feeling of building something beautiful together. But then a wave of good fortune fell upon them. People loved their medicine and bought it, and the word spread, and they struck it rich. Good news, no? Now Jason and Bart can't work. Instead, they argue over the money. Who's working harder? Who's more effective? Who deserves more of the profit? Now Jason and Bart hate each other. They want to tear each other apart. They won't talk to each other. So the foreman comes to Jason and asks, "What color should we print the labels?" Jason says red. Bart hears red, so he calls the foreman and shouts to him, "Print it blue." The employers want to work, but they can't. Production and marketing is a mess. Next stop, train wreck. Anarchy. 5 brothers and cousins got along so well, they pooled their monies together and bought a business. They were all very respectful of each other, and they enjoyed driving the business as equals. They had enough success to expand, so they loaded up more workers and drove the business on. But who was driving? Everyone was so respectful of the other, but no single person was ever clearly in charge. How long does it take for a car without a driver to crash? Spineless. Norton began with one bicycle as a messenger, and through back-breaking effort and persistence, he grew his service into a thriving messenger company. He spent his youth slaving to succeed, and now he has a profitable business. Well done, Norton. Finally, he has time to fall in love with Madeline. Madeline is a cheerful, headstrong woman who tells him, "You're doing it all wrong, darling. I will run your business for you. I have great ideas." "Of course, my dearest," says Norton. He is so in love that when Madeline tells Norton to shave off his mustache, he takes it right off then and there. Oh, so in love. You know what's next. Power corrupts. They couldn't be closer. Simon, Jay, and Bob, 3 brothers who grew up together tight as 3 pennies in a fist. So when they grew up, they partnered together in a business. The 2 younger brothers, Simon and Jay, were the salesmen who brought in all the customers, and the older brother, Bob, stayed in the office as administrator. Luckily, he married a very rich woman. With his wealth, Bob invested in the company and expanded it. That sounds okay, no? Bob calls in his 2 brothers and says, "I put the most money into the company, so I own it. From now on, you guys do what I say." Bob begins bossing Simon and Jay around and telling them how to sell. Bob doesn't know anything about sales, and still he interferes in Simon and Jay's daily operations. Workers in the firm do their best. What would you do if one boss told you to raise prices 15% and the other boss told you to give a 10% discount? Well, you tell me, what happens when a train runs off the track? Did you find your story? Click below and calculate the cost of a train wreck.